Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Spurs Up Show. That's Gamecocks podcast on the internet. Today is Tuesday, January the 26th, 2021. And on today's show, we continue along with the season preview series, guys, for Gamecocks baseball. Today, I'm talking South Carolina's first baseman heading into the 2021 baseball season. I'll talk key losses, who's back, most approved, best overall, season will be successful if, and give my overall grade for the Gamecocks first baseman as we sit just 24 days away from opening day, guys. We've got a packed show. It's all brought to you by our friends over at Upstate Movers Group. Guys, Upstate Movers Group, superior moving service. They bring care and attention other companies can't offer because they're just too busy maintaining trucks and profiting off of them instead of focusing on service. Guys, service is what separates Upstate Movers Group from the competition. They're not a trucking company, by the way. They are a moving services company, and they're also employee-owned co-op, guys. Their movers are paid twice the industry average, and everyone on the crew is just invested in the success of the project as you are. They have dedicated professional crew members, and they also offer black glove service, guys. They offer end-to-end packing services, custom crating and packaging for special items, and cleaning services as well. They're founded by Greenville natives and University of South Carolina alumni, guys, so a Gamecock-owned small business. They also offer 20 years of project management moving experience, and they can offer logistics and solutions that traditional moving companies simply do not have the skills for. Guys, whether you're in the upstate or across the state of South Carolina, if you have any moving needs in 2021, be sure to check out our friends over at Upstate Movers Group. You can find them on social media at Upstate Movers Group. And of course, their website, if you have any further questions, upstatemoversgroup.com. That is upstatemoversgroup.com. The show's also brought to you by our friends over at MyBookie, guys. It's that time of year. Hey, we've got a Super Bowl coming up. Bucks and Chiefs. Tom Brady looks to take down the Chiefs, who look to defend their Super Bowl title. But it's that time of year. Divisions are decided. Champions are crowned. Legends are born. It's time for the NFL playoffs, right? You guys have waited and watched all year long as your team either rose to the top or fell to the bottom, but now it's your turn to win big. Listen, everybody needs a book to bet on the Super Bowl on. Everybody bets on the Super Bowl. Even if you're not a gambler, you bet on the Super Bowl in some capacity, right? You've heard the name also, and it's just about everywhere, MyBookie. They're the industry's leading online sportsbook and casino, and it's not hard to understand why. With thousands of lines to bet on all your favorite sports, NFL, NBA, college ball, check, and check. MMA and soccer, hey, they've got that too. They've got all the latest odds, period. Guys, you can take advantage of MyBookie's prop builder and live in-game betting where every single run, throw, and touchdown is another chance for you to put cash in your pocket. Guys, you can visit their mobile-friendly website today and get your deposit matched halfway up to $1,000, all by just using the promo code Gamecocks. That's promo code Gamecocks when you make your first deposit. And guys, the best part is this. They make it simple with a variety of ways to deposit, including credit card, bank transfer, Bitcoin, and more. And guys, whether you're at home or on the go on your laptop or on your phone, it's never too late to make your New Year's resolution a resolution to get paid, bet, win, and get paid at MyBookie. Let's get it. Yo, what is up, guys? Happy Tuesday. I'm Chris Phillips, host of the Spurs Up Show as always. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Got a packed show. Like I told you guys last week, anytime we are kicking the podcast off and leading the podcast and really the entire topic of the podcast, anytime it's baseball related, you know, that makes me smile a little bit. So again, guys, appreciate you tuning in. We're talking specifically Gamecocks baseball today. Again, as we continue along with the season preview series, we're now just 24 days away from opening day. And that, my friends, excites me. Got a lot to dive into, a lot to get into. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Actually, first things first, I want to let you guys know, announce this later on Monday. We will be having a watch party Saturday for the South Carolina Vanderbilt basketball game. So if you're around Columbia, it's going to be at Republic Beer Garden and Kitchen. As you guys know, we tried to do this a few weeks ago, but the South Carolina game got postponed due to COVID. So fingers crossed, nothing crazy like that happens again. But again, watch party this Saturday. Vanderbilt game tip-off is at 8:30. Doors open at Republic at 11. I'll probably be getting there around 7 o'clock, planning on doing the live pregame show, the Daily Crow pregame show from 7:30 to 8. And then, like I said, tip-off is at 8:30. So, again, come on out, Republic Beer Garden and Kitchen in the Vista. It's at the old Flying Saucer spot. If you guys know where that is, it's literally right there in the Vista. Fantastic venue, great people, great food, great drinks. And, again, guys, the venue is awesome. They got pool tables. They got TVs everywhere. It is a really, really nice setup. So, again, this Saturday, South Carolina Vandy, tip-off at 8:30, watch party at Republic Beer Garden and Kitchen in the Vista. Be sure to come check it out. It's going to be the must-be spot to watch this game. But, all right, without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into it. We're talking Gamecocks baseball today here on a Tuesday. We're continuing along with the position unit previews, talking about South Carolina's first baseman heading into the 2021 season. Now, this position is really interesting, and it'll get you excited for this lineup, if nothing else. Because you talk about first, let's go ahead and jump into key losses. Who are the key losses here? I mean, really, who did you lose? You know, I listed Bryant Bowen and Dallas Beaver as two losses for this position. But really, I mean, those guys didn't even really play first base all that much. You saw Dallas Beaver more so in the DH role, was obviously a catcher, played a little bit of third, and then Bryant Bowen, he did slide over there a few times to play first, but mainly those two guys were DH guys, so you really don't lose anything from the first base spot. And also, when you look at those guys' numbers, you know, all due respect to Beaver and Bowen, but Beaver guy hit 256, 0 homers, 4 RBIs, and then Bowen hit 229 and had 2 homers and 7 ribbies. So, I mean, again, in a shortened season, of course, but you're not losing a ton of production from this position. And the reason that is because who is back is the man that manned this position all season long last year for South Carolina. 16 games played, 16 games started, led his team, not only the team, but the SEC in home runs with 8 when the season was called. And, of course, I'm talking about Wes Clarke. He leads this group amongst the returners. You also add in some new guys that I've got to talk about. Again, they're not necessarily back, but these new dudes we have to mention. Joe Satterfield and David Mendham, guys. Joe Satterfield and David Mendham, two dudes that we've heard a lot about this offseason, two big-time power bats from the left side. And you ask yourself, Chris, how in the world would Wes Clarke not be starting at first base this season after the type of season he gave you? You may actually see one of these two guys take the job, and more so for defensive purposes. Mendham and Satterfield, both really, really good defensive options, but big-time bashers. And, of course, in college baseball and for South Carolina specifically, it's all about getting the 9 best bats in the lineup. If you can hit, you're going to play in college baseball. That's just bottom line. So if Wes Clarke's got to slide to DH or Mendham's got to slide to DH and Wes Clarke stays in the field, whatever it is, these are all names you're going to hear a ton. Mendham, Satterfield, and Clarke, you're going to hear all 3 of these names a ton. The common theme here with this position is this, guys. These are big-time, mature, veteran hitter power bats. Power, power, power. Lots of home run potential. We should see a lot of home runs come out of this trio. Again, I know D1Baseball.com, they actually put up their projected lineup for South Carolina already, and they have David Mendham starting at first base and Wes Clarke manning the duties at the DH role. Again, does it really matter? I don't think so. As long as you're getting these bats in there, that's what's most important. You take a look at a guy like Satterfield. He may play a different position, but he's a guy that can play really anywhere. He's a grad transfer from Elon. Really, really good line drive hitter, switch hitter, actually. And South Carolina is not really heavy right now on the left-handed bats. And, again, that's what Mendham and Satterfield both give you. Wes Clarke, obviously, a really big body right-handed hitter. But you feel good about where you are with this position right here. With Wes Clarke coming back, if nothing else, I think the future, at least this year, of the first base position is in really, really good hands. I mean, again, you're literally talking about the guy had in 16 games, he had 8 home runs. And this was his stat line last year. Wes Clarke hit 286, 8 homers, 22 RBIs, 714 slugging percentage, 15 strikeouts, which is not terrible. I mean, it could be better, but it's not terrible, especially for a power hitter. The thing you love about Wes Clarke's game, guys, he's got a very short, compact, flat, level swing, which makes there's not a whole lot of swing and miss in his game. But again, more so, I love just the short swing, the quick to the ball approach, throws his hands at the baseball. It's not a really long swing, which makes him a really, really tough out, even when he's not hitting home runs. Also drew 8 walks last year. So again, you feel really good about this position this year. But moving into the most to prove, I talked about Satterfield and Mendham, and I couldn't really pick one of them, guys, so I'm going both. David Mendham and Joe Satterfield, to me, have the most to prove. I didn't mention it earlier, but David Mendham, he's also a transfer coming from Connor State Junior College in Oklahoma. That Oklahoma pipeline continues to roll through for South Carolina. He's a third-year sophomore. So we're talking about a guy who is a veteran bat, if you will. You know, obviously in baseball, when these guys come from JUCO, you know, you love getting these JUCO players in there because they're much more seasoned than your true freshmen. And yeah, we've seen Mark Kingston use the heck out of some JUCO guys. I mean, South Carolina has not been shy when it has come to the JUCO market for baseball talent. I think Mendham could be that guy. Joe Satterfield, obviously getting the grad transfer coming from Elon. We've heard a lot of great things about these two guys. And again, I have people literally telling me in my ear that say, Chris, I think Satterfield's probably going to be your opening day first baseman, or that at least one of these two guys will be the opening day first baseman in the field. Now, again, Wes Clarke is going to be in the lineup, folks. I'm going to tell you that right now. Wes Clarke will be in the lineup, whether it's at DH, whether it's in the field. He is going to be one of the 9 guys in your lineup on opening day, probably in the 4-hole. But when I look at Mendham and I look at Satterfield, they have the most to prove to me because, again, they have not done it in the SEC. It's one thing to do it at JUCO. It's one thing to do it at Elon. And taking nothing away from these guys' past experiences and their numbers, for sure. Because if you're a damn good ball player, you're a damn good ball player, bottom line. But you just wonder, what do you get from these newcomers? Again, the pressures of playing in the SEC, playing SEC baseball, some guys can handle it, and some guys just simply can't. You know, we all had really high expectations last year as well for Bryant Bowen and Dallas Beaver. And who knows, they might have flourished last year. They might have come into their own and come on strong. But I think you saw both of those guys. There was certainly an adjustment. There was a major adjustment for both guys. Two guys who were both in their own rights, big-time power bats. But there was an adjustment. So you know there's going to be some sort of an adjustment period for both Mendham and Satterfield. How long is that adjustment? How quickly can those guys become everyday contributors for South Carolina? Because, again, it's two big-time power bats, and here's the kicker. Both guys that are lefty bats can be lefty bats in that lineup, because you look right now, your lineup is very righty-heavy. You'd like to mix it up and switch it up a little bit and get some left-handers in there. Mendham and Satterfield both provide you that valuable of a stick. Let's move to best overall, guys, and again, it's no secret. It's Wes Clarke. And until further notice from me, it's Wes Clarke. I mean, we're talking about a guy, again, 8 home runs last year. I really think this guy's – I think Wes Clarke could lead the SEC in home runs. Like, I think Wes Clarke is the next big power bat to come through Columbia. You know, South Carolina's been – you know what he kind of reminds me of? Wes Clarke kind of reminds me of like a Phil Disher. He really does. When I see Wes Clarke and his approach and his game, very, very much similar to Phil Disher, who, if you don't know who Phil Disher is, played the mid to late 2000s, was part of that murderer's row with Justin Smoke and Reese Havens and James Darnell and Robbie Grindstaff. And just, you kept going down 1 through 9. These dudes were Travis Jones. These dudes were bashers back in the day. Those teams that set records in Columbia for offensive output. Wes Clarke, to me, is like the next big-time power hitter to roll through Columbia. That's how I view him. Again, I think Wes Clarke can be a guy, certainly, that could lead South Carolina's team in home runs yet again. I think he could lead the SEC again, guys. I really do. Again, I love this kid's approach. You know, I got to watch him last summer at the Play for the Blowfish. And just his overall approach, man, really short to the baseball, short, compact swing, which, again, makes him a really, really tough out. Even when he's not hitting home runs, Wes Clarke is normally barreling the baseball up. He's normally catching on the barrel. He's normally making really solid contact. And again, we're talking about a guy in Wes Clarke that's going to lead this lineup. There's no question. I mean, this is a power-heavy lineup, and you guys are going to see that and hear about that. And I'm going to talk about that as we go through breaking down each and every single position unit. Okay, it's a power lineup, no question. Wes Clarke is basically, I think he's your leader in that. He is the guy you're going to look to. We need a big 2-run, 3-run homer. You know what I mean? I think you're going to see a very classic South Carolina baseball lineup this year. And Wes Clarke is going to be one of those dudes that is leading the charge. Let's move into season will be successful if, guys. And I sort of just mentioned it. But for me, you take a look at what the numbers were when the season got postponed or got canceled, if you will, last year. When you take a look at what the numbers were last year for Gamecock baseball, and specifically Wes Clarke, 8 home runs in 16 games. South Carolina was just about to start SEC play. Okay. And we all know the competition bumps itself up when you go from the non-conference to SEC play. No questions asked. With that being said, I think the season will be successful if Wes Clarke hits 15-plus home runs this year. And, dude, I think Wes Clarke could hit 20. Like, I really do. I think Wes Clarke could be a 20-home run guy for this team. I think 15 is more than reasonable to expect. I mean, the guy had 8 in 16 games, guys. And, heck, it's not like he was, like, on some crazy hot streak hitting, like, 450, and he was hitting 286. I mean, 8 home runs and 56 at bats. Like, I think that Wes Clarke can sustain those numbers and improve on those numbers. And again, you have to think the progression from last year to this year. Guy's a better hitter. Guy's a flat out better hitter. Now, do I expect Wes Clarke to see a ton of fastballs? Probably not. But when you think of the lineup he's in, pick your poison, right? So I think Wes Clarke, if he can hit 15 plus home runs, which again I think is very well in reason. I think this position as a whole, when you factor in Mendham and Satterfield, I think those guys could hit a combined. I mean, we could see 30, 35 home runs from South Carolina's first baseman. Honestly, this is a big time power group. This is a big time power group. It's going to be a huge factor in South Carolina's lineup and their offensive output this season. So again, for me, guys, season will be successful if Wes Clarke hits 15-plus bombs. I think he can be a 20-plus homer guy. I think he can lead the SEC in home runs, pick up right where he left off last year. Overall, great for these guys. Guys, as you can tell, I'm very high on the first baseman. I am very high on the first baseman. Again, when you have a returner like Wes Clarke, you really like where you are at the position. Again, I know the inexperience of Mendham and Satterfield is something that maybe as a fan you could raise an eyebrow to, but these guys, from all accounts, from everything we've heard, are ready to be at this level and contribute and be big-time ball players to the Gamecocks. I'm giving the overall grade for the first baseman an A. I really do. And even if we were just talking about Wes Clarke, guys, that's the thing. Even if we were just talking about Wes Clarke is an all-conference, all-American caliber player. Bottom line. All-American, all-conference caliber player. The next great Gamecocks power bat that we've seen roll through Columbia. Seriously, genuinely. So you combine that with Mendham and Satterfield and the flexibility they bring and bringing in some power lefty bats, I feel really good about this first base position. Give me the overall grade, an A, again, like I said, for the first baseman. This should be a fun group to watch. I mean, it's literally, to me, between Clarke, Satterfield, and Mendham, going to be a competition of who can hit the most bombs. I mean, I think it's going to give fans big-time vibes to, again, the mid to late 2000s when you just had power bat after power bat after power bat. I don't think that's too bold to say. Like, I really don't think that's too bold to say. I think this group of dudes have, and I didn't talk about much defensively either, but I think you're fine defensively at all three spots. I thought Wes Clarke defensively played a solid first base last year. I mean, listen, is he going to win a Gold Glove or anything? Probably not. But, no, you have 3 solid options for sure at the first base position. I have no concerns when it comes to defensively. But the bats are really what excites you here. And, again, that's why I'm giving the overall grade an A for these guys. So really excited to watch these guys play. So, again, hey, that's going to do it for the Tuesday show, guys. Kind of a brief one, but, hey, get to talk Gamecock baseball. You can never complain there. But, again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Again, quick reminder, podcast Daily Crow all week, but pregame shows on Wednesday and Saturday for basketball. And, of course, the watch party Saturday at Republic Beer Garden and Kitchen, guys. If you're in Columbia, you're around the area, like I said, I'll probably get in there about 6:30 or 7. Going to do the pregame show 7:30 to 8, and then tip-off is at 8:30 in Republic Beer Garden and Kitchen, the old Flying Saucer spot in the Vista. Phenomenal venue, great people, great food and drink, and it's going to be a great time. So be sure to come check it out, guys. We'll have a blast this weekend. But again, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks so much.